Alright everyone, it's time for another garden update. Right now we have no beets, however, there is one Brussels sprout here that actually managed to come up. So it looks like there will be Brussels sprouts, but now it's going to compete with the beets. Lots of Swiss chard, that's, basically unchanged from before. It's getting its second leaves just now. You can see little tiny things right there. Those will be tasty. This whole thing will basically be a mat of greenness. Now watch this. Look at that. This is the herb garden. It's got some alyssums, baby's breath, and a couple of chamomile in it too, but mostly thyme, cilantro, and parsley. 3 different kinds of basil. There's the Thai basil. I don't know how it smells. Tastes. It smells stronger. Sweet basil back there, which was actually, it looked really terrible until we watered it. Now it looks fine. And then the purple basil. Right over here, lots and lots of turnips. They're basically unchanged. The cabbages, the beets have not come up yet. Also in here, here's something experimental. Those are stinging nettles. And on the advice of multiple other people, I decided to put a bunch in there. You soak them with the water, sort of let it infuse, and the idea is that then it's really good for your garden. This bed has been planted on the sides, but in the middle there will be chamomile still. And the whole idea is this is mainly zucchini and cucumber and some peppers of various kinds. Most of these are the sweet peppers. A couple of tomatoes on the end too. These are, I think these are the black princes that I put in here. And then in the middle, you can have some root crops. Might put a row or 2 of carrots in actually. Otherwise likely to put in chamomile for tea. These are the smaller tomato varieties, husky cherries and grape. And a habanero plant as well, right there, with the carrots next to them, which grow well with the tomatoes. This was freshly weeded the other day and has been watered with a mix of azomite and kelp meal, fish meal actually. So this is all nice and puffy and green. You can see there are collards in here, but some of them haven't come up yet. They're just about a day out from being fully sprouted. More peppers, more tomatoes, more flowers, some phlox and stuff. This area over here, this corner, nothing but chamomile. That's going to be a tea garden area actually. And each one of those will produce enough tea for about 20 boxes, sometimes more. Those big 2.5 pint jars or the 5 pint jars, fill multiple of those with the paper towels. You stuff them in the bottom, and that's how you sort of do it. The hostas are starting to come up, along with all the other perennials here. And then you've got more cucumbers actually here. These were sort of the overflow that didn't fit in the other bed. And so I figured I'd put them on here. And I know that they need staking. I just got to figure out which kind I want to use for them, basically. More peppers, actually. These are, I believe, in the middle, that's the cubanelle, and on the sides are yellow bell, if I remember correctly. And then all sorts of other perennials. Those got a little bit of the azomite mix. But I can't wait until the nettle water is done. I've never used it before. People swear by it and say it's wonderful. I'll probably be able to do it again as well. And over here, we've got corn poppies, which are all growing fairly well. Some of them are, actually, that is a corn poppy, by the way. I didn't pull it out before. I was waiting to see. Made the right decision, I guess. There's some chamomile in there. Some of the phlox or whatever it is. You can see all the little seedlings. The problem is, of course, I'm going to have to destroy 99% of those. There are way, way too many. But that'll definitely fill it in. There'll be basically two flushes of flowers when it comes to it. And digging through, some of the asparagus looked like it might be viable, but for the most part, I think animals got to it, unfortunately, because it wasn't fenced, which is, of course, sad. But yeah, everything's growing very well. Got some some of the burdock in there. You can definitely turn that into some tea. That root's probably feet long. I'm really happy about the garden, mostly. It other than the Brussels sprouts being non-viable or whatever, I think this is basically the showcase, though. This definitely looks rustic. And it's still not quite filled in. Need about 2 bags of the garden soil mix over there, And what's planned is just a couple more herbs and maybe another chamomile plant, because the chamomile plant will attract pollinators, and I think the alyssum does too. Like there are some little gnats actually right here. This used to be the compost pile. What I did was take the hoe and just sort of smash it around, built this little path here so that, you know, you'd have access to this side. All that old wood, just pretty much piled it up with some stakes, and it's raised up almost a foot. It looks like the sort of thing you'd see at the Plymouth plantation, actually, which is pretty cool. That's about all. Peace out.